They're calling you the Sinister Six. You'll have to cooperate with the others to pull off the big heist, but nothing says you can't take the best loot for yourself. Only that putrid spider can keep you from pulling off the perfect string of robberies, so get the job done and get out before Spider-Man shows up. And if a Spidey does get in your way, crush it. This is a heist game, meaning you'll be working together, at least until your self-interest runs out. It might be more advantageous for you to grab some loot outside of the normal turn order and screw over your fellow conspirators. Just make sure you do it before they do it to you. Over the course of 5 rounds, you'll participate in 4 heists and 1 final battle with Spider-Man. You'll play action cards specific to the villain you choose, matching symbols on the cards with the symbols on the heist. Covering these symbols will get you loot if you complete the heist, and loot gives you points. To win and become the master supervillain, you'll need to survive the final battle and have the most amount of points at the end of the game. And the only way you can get points is through loot. We want these rules to stick. So before we get into the rules, we're going to give you a little gameplay session to give you a little bit of context. All players start a heist by bidding for turn order. They'll use one of their number hexes to get first dibs. Some hexes that are worse for bidding have a bonus of a black marker card on them, which allows you to take one like Max's Stephanie on the right just did. Choosing which turn order you take and when you take your black market cards is strategic for the game because you won't want to participate in all the heists. Your resources in this game are limited, so it might not be the worst idea to capture yourself so that you don't have to waste any resources on a heist that's getting pretty busy with your friends. That way, you can save your resources for the 3rd or 4th heists, and not too many people will be bothering you anymore. Oh, and don't think we forgot about the first heist there. Everybody else is going to be splitting the loot in multiple ways, or if everybody dips out, one person's going to get screwed over. Only the people still in the heist at the end will actually get to split any loot if the heist is actually completed. But make sure you're at the top of the loot queue, or else you might get stuck with some not so great loot. If that's the case, you might want to save your resources for a more lucrative heist. Planning for the final battle happens the whole game, and it's something you might overlook in your first game. The reason you need to plan for it is because if you get captured, you lose. Period. 0 points. You've got 3 options on your turn to stay in the game, which are to play an action card, play a black market card, or discard a card. And since you have to take a turn every time your turn order comes up, and you only have those 3 options, you better make sure you have 2 or 3 black market cards. Sabotage is part of the game. You can plan as much as you want, but your best laid plans could be laid to waste by those pesky spiders or other players. Cripple them before they do it to you. Use your variable player powers and the black market card effects to gain the advantage that you'll need before all the loot is totaled to become the master supervillain. Each player chooses a villain character to play as by taking their 4 action cards, their 2 special action cards, and the 6 villain markers from the box. Before the game starts, you'll have to choose whether to use your one-time special action by putting it into your hand and discarding the permanent action, or saving the permanent action by putting it in front of you and discarding the one-time special action. You only get to choose one of them. Next, I'm going to speed things up with some movie magic. You're going to separate out the numbered hexes into 5 separate piles based on their background color. Shuffle each pile individually and pass 1 from each pile out to every single player playing, discarding the rest. Some hexes will allow you to take more black market cards when you play them, denoted by the symbol. Shuffle the black market cards and deal 1 to each player. Make a face-down draw pile with the rest and place the black market tokens and the turn order tokens nearby. Shuffle the heist location cards and deal 4 locations face up, and place 2 heist location cards for the final battle because we're playing a 4-player game. Look at the Spidey icons on this heist. Deal that many spider cards underneath the heist card, and do the same thing for the rest of the heists as well. For the final battle, always put 4 spider cards, no matter the player count. Just gonna get a little more camera space here. Separate all the loot into 4 piles and flip them over so you can't see any numbers. Might take you a little bit longer than it just did me. Then look at each face-up heist location and place that amount of loot on the heist. Place the active heist marker above the leftmost heist location, and then scale for player count by covering the top 2 skill markers on each heist with an unused villain marker from the box. That way, only 4 skills will be showing for a 4-player game. And there we have it in all its glory. We've got the heist locations with the top 2 skills covered. We've got 2 heist locations because it's a 4-player game. We got the Spideys underneath, the loot on the heists, and each villain should have their 4 action cards, their 6 villain tokens, their 5 number hexes, the black market, and their special action card. The game follows a basic pattern that will be repeated in each of the 5 rounds. First, you're going to determine turn order by flipping over number hexes. The lowest number gets first dibs on the turn order. Then you're going to perform actions, like playing cards, until the heist is either completed or everyone is captured. Next, you're going to reveal the spider card one by one and continue taking actions until each spider card is completed or everyone is captured. Then, you're going to distribute the loot, yeah, best part, based on your marker's location in the loot queue. And finally, clean up the heist. To determine turn order, everybody simultaneously reveals their choice of number hex, and lowest one gets first dibs. They'll probably choose turn order number 1. Anyone that used a black market token gets a black market card and continues taking turn orders. Any number hexes used are discarded. They're one-time use. On your turn, you must either play an action card, play a black market card, or dodge. If you can't or decide not to play any of those, you are captured and thus cannot take part in any of the loot. To play an action card, you're going to play it face up on the table right there and match any symbols with the heist. Place your villain marker on top of those symbols. You can even play an action symbol even if it only matches one of them instead of both, but it's not as good. This symbol right here is a wild symbol. It's the mastermind. It can cover any symbol. And finally, you can use your special one-time ability as well. Just take the effects and discard any cards played afterwards. When playing a black market card, you have 3 options. You can snatch a particular type of loot if you can cover the correct symbol. Put a black market token on the skill. You can also subvert using the special ability right there, or you can do both. Finally, you can dodge by discarding any card, essentially skipping your turn but keeping you in the heist. If on your turn you can't or choose not to do any of those 3 options, you are captured and can't get any of the loot. Once all the skills in the heist are filled, flip over the first spider card to see who's attacking you. They'll add more skills to the heist and might add some more loot as well. Take your turn like normal, playing an action card or a black market card and filling up the skills. Flip over another spider card if it's in the heist. If you can't play or choose not to, you'll be captured and won't take part in the loot. Once the heist has been completed and all those pesky little spiders have been crushed, it's time for the best part, splitting up all that loot. It's how you win. The first player in the loot queue gets first dibs on whatever loot they want. They get 1 pick right there. Refer to the player help cards to see the different values of the loot, because all loot's different. Disregard any black market tokens, just take them off. Elector's up next. Remember, you can choose from any of those loot piles. It's all the same. Next up is Mysterio. Now, Mysterio's been captured, so they don't take part in any of the loot. Get him out of here. Keep divvying up the loot until all of it's gone or all the hands are gone, and trash the rest of it. Move the active heist token to the next heist on the right and clean up any cards strewn about on the table. Once all 4 heists are complete, it's time for the final battle. To prep for the final battle, throw away any special action cards and return all regular action cards to your hand. Move the active heist token over and flip it over to reveal the final battle, because your rules are about to change. Reveal any heist location cards and set them up top to bottom with the Spidey cards underneath. Skills must be covered in succession from top to bottom. No jumping around the loot queue. In addition, no skills are pre-covered for player count. Special action cards can't be used. And finally, here's the big one. If you're captured in the final battle, you lose the game. All your loot is trashed and you get to go sulk in a jail cell somewhere. To start the final battle, simultaneously flip over your final number hex and take the turn order. After the final battle concludes, it's time to figure out the winner. Flip over all the loot and total the sums. Any captured players are immediately eliminated. The player with the most points is declared the master supervillain and gets to boast about their title on social media forever. Oh, I almost forgot. There's a handy reference sheet in the back of the rules, and each player should be given a reference card so they know the potential value of the loot types. Comment below on what you think and what questions you may have. We know you're going to enjoy this dastardly heist game by Daryl Andrews and Adrian Adamescu in partnership with Marvel. If you like this game and you're looking for other games, Spin Master's got tons of games from adult games, family games, party games, preschool games, kids games, and more. So, until next time, I'm Nick Metzler from Spin Master.